I went into the office one day, like in Johnson County, and they went into the office and asked, like, "Hey, how can I become a general contractor?" And they gave me a bunch of paperwork, and I bought the books and I kept them in my house for a little bit for a while, trying to to know what to do with them. And I started reading them, and I literally attempted to pass the test like without studying, and of course I failed miserably. It was funny. I went to the test and I asked my wife, like, did I study the same book? Like, is this? And like I would go to a section that I think was the answer for it, but I couldn't find it. So I literally thought that I had the wrong book. Like I started to go online to see if there was like an online website course that I could do. And I found one, and I tried to pass the test. I failed again. And that's when, like, maybe I'm not fit for it. This is not for me or something. But again, like I came across you, and like there was a complete different way to approach this. Like and I really liked it, and so I mean your frame method is like super good in finding the way the test wants you to find stuff.
All right. Y'all know what it is. This is Contractor Envy and the Contractor Envy community. And we are here today. And I'll tell you, everybody's special. I think everybody who comes in this program and graduates and even just participates special. But this one here is a story that I feel like everyone should hear when it comes down to having determination, right? I'm talking about with no experience in construction. I'm going to tell him ahead of time, no experience in construction. And he goes after the highest license he can get. And when he connected with us, he said, you know, if I might need to drop down to a lower license. And I'm like, wow, you already started. You already studied. You already put the time in. Wow. And for him to listen to that and then still go through some challenges and accomplish getting his Class A general contractor license, I'm going to say first, congratulations. Big up. And I want you to introduce yourself to the community, who you are, where you from, and how did this journey all start?
Hey guys, yeah, my name is Esteban Saavedra. I am originally from Panama. I've been here in the U.S. for 12 years, and I live in Kansas City. I am like a realtor. I'm a realtor here in Kansas City, and you just wanted to like transition into a different kind of business. I mean, at the same time, I'm gonna stay in my real estate business, but I wanted to like add more to my career, and I decided to do construction since I am involved with many people that do construction. And man, I was fortunate to come through and see a video from Kevin here, and like I was inspired, man, and it worked out. It was great.
So tell me, when did this journey start for you on deciding, you know what, I'm about to get a general contractor license? Then you did what? Like, when did this start?
Yeah, well, I started a few months ago. I would say like maybe the summer last year in 2025, and I got I got the books, and I went into the office one day, like in Johnson County, and they went into the office and asked, like, "Hey, how can I become a general contractor?" And they gave me a bunch of paperwork, and I bought the books and I kept them in my house for a little bit for a while, trying to to know what to do with them. And I started reading them, and I literally attempted to pass the test like without studying. Like I
Yes.
just went to see what it was like, and of course I failed miserably. But I was super confused. But I mean, it was expected. Then several years passed. No, I'm sorry, several months passed before I tried again. But this time I tried to get more like help. Like I started to go online to see if there was like an online website course that I could do, and I found one, and I tried to pass the test. I failed again.
What
Um,
what was it about the second attempt from you getting a course
mhm.
and then going back and trying? Where do you think there was a disconnect there?
Man, I think that the course didn't show me like how to think like the code wanted me to think. And it's funny that now, like that's in my mind, and now for me it's way easier. I've told you about that. Like it's way different. Like that book, I could find every little. It was very literal. Like I could find the sentences as they ask in the book,
Right.
and the questions on that course or exam or some the test online. It was very easy to read every single sentence. But in reality, like when you're taking the test, it is like they use different wordings and different. You have to like figure out what they are actually asking. So that's not what they taught.
So tell me this: you were you are in real estate.
Yeah.
You said, "I'm gonna get the license." When you took the first or second time, did any of the information kind of resonate, or was it all full?
Man, it was completely different. Like it was, it was funny. I went to the test and I asked my wife, like, did I study the same book? Like, is this? I think I have the wrong book. I have the wrong
Yes.
book. It was so weird, so difficult to see. It's an open for people that don't know. It's an open book. You have it in front of you, and they ask a question, and then you start looking at like where it is, and like I would go to a section that I think was the answer for it, but I couldn't find it. So I literally thought that I was not, I had the wrong book, but I was
So
doing test.
so in and I'm not picking on any program. Like I tell you, if you got experience, sometimes you can do those programs where it's just do questions, right?
Mhm.
But when you were just doing the questions, and I mean, you pretty much said it, the questions were not exactly the same when you were taking the exam.
Yeah.
But I want to also ask, what about the pressure? Like when you went in those first two times, was it, were you able to control the time? Was there, what else do you think you were missing?
Yeah, not at all, man. I went in there and I spent like, there is funny, like I remember like the second time there was a question that I went through every single page on the book. I'm like, it took me, of course, it took me several minutes, maybe like 10 minutes to answer one question. And I
Yes.
still couldn't find it because there was nothing about it. Like, and again, like, I'm sure we're gonna talk about well in your method, the method you showed me, like it was way simpler, way easier. So I could just go to this spot. But yeah, time management, of course, because it would take me so long to just find what they were talking about.
Uh,
Yeah.
so before finding this program, how many times did you attempt to take the exam? And where was your mindset when you actually ran across this?
It was. I mean, I did it twice before coming, before finding finding you, and I felt like really dumb,
Got you. Not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. Come on. Yeah.
I felt like is this? I mean, is this for me? Like, what's going on? Like, is this for geniuses? And I started looking at, you start googling like, am I dumb? Like I started questioning like how many people pass this test, like, and I found that this was the hardest exam to pass, and that like engineers and other like very like smart people are the ones that take this test, and that's why like maybe I'm not fit for it. This is not for me or something, and but again, like I came across you, and like there was a complete different way to approach this. Like and I really liked it, and so I mean your frame method is like super good in finding the way the test wants you to find stuff.
So let's talk about that transition. Because I know it wasn't as easy kind of grasping it at first. Because I will say this, I think you think like an engineer, right? And why? Because when we were studying together, you questioned, right? Mm-hmm. You wanted to like, no, break it down for me so I can understand it. And that's, I mean, trust me, mm-hmm. Everybody's different, but when you think like that, it's a different level of thinking. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because you want to make sure, hold up, that answer is not clearly making sense to me. You need to explain why that answer is that answer, right? And so when you got into the program and you started with the 5-step method, was there still just a little bit of doubt? Or was it like, okay, maybe I just need to really open up to what he said? What is this question asked?
Yeah. I still had doubt. I mean, you remember, I'm sure there were several questions when I'm like, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, hey, I can accept that answer, man. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. But again, with time, I remember, if you had seen so many emails, remember I started sending you emails like, this question doesn't make sense, you know? Yeah. But like, it's funny, like after like the next day before I send you the email, I would like go back into, in the book and find the answer. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, okay, that's why, But again, like that doubt, I guess, is the one is kept in my mind. Like,
if you're currently studying to get your general contractor license, or maybe you're interested in learning more about the process and what's required, and you want someone to reach out to and talk to, well, my name's Coach Kev. You can hit me in the comments, you can subscribe to this page, and you can also send me an email or a phone call. And we can talk about what's the next steps you need to take in order to get your license in any state that has an open book exam, all right? Or you're studying the International Residential Code or the International Building Code, okay? So our methods are meant to teach you strategies on passing the exam without having to read the whole book, and also set those study habits that will allow you to be more successful in this journey. So again, subscribe to this page. Go ahead, leave your comments, and let us help you by coming to join the Contractor MB Pro community, and that's right there at www.studybuddypro.app. Let's go.
Well, I want everyone to thank Esteban, because that's where comments and questions came up from in the app. I was like, bro, he's like, I'm bothering you. No. We need to come up with a better system, because the questions were really like, okay, yeah, he's got valid questions. We need to figure out how to respond to it, right? So I thank you for that, because, every one of you guys that come to our women too, that come through our program, you guys teach me something, right? Mm-hmm. Because we're really like trying to build it for you. And when you're questioning it, it's like, oh shit, yeah, let's look at this for real. So now, let's talk about you're learning the 5-step method. You got a date set. I think when you originally came, you're like, well, I want to do it in 2 weeks or something like that, right?
Yeah, 10 days.
I want to go get it out the way. How long did it take? And because I know we didn't just go hit it right out the park. Not at all, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us what happened after you got in the program and you went up for that next attempt.
Yeah, I print that little piece that you have there, the frame method that you have on your whiteboard, and I have it next to me. And I started going like in every question, I would just go like, hey, I'm gonna find the section, and I'm gonna try to like find like what connects them, like the reference and all that. And then I started going through step by step, and also like learning. One thing you always taught me was the table of contents, because the table of contents helped me. Once I learned the table of contents, I'm like, okay, they're talking about fire or about doors. Okay, so doors and fire, that has to be in this section because that's what they're talking about here.
Yeah.
Also, another thing you also taught me was like in the book is from the bottom to the top. That also helps you with the table of contents. Like first they start with like the foundation, and then you said like design and structure, like all that. Also helped me a lot, and also knowing what the book is, how it's set up. Like if you ask me, like, yeah, section let's say chapter 6, I knew what it was about, all that. But it wasn't easy at the beginning. I mean, I started playing with the exam test, the tests that you have, the quizzes, and I, like, for hours every day, I would just go in there and just try and try and try, and I started taking notes and questioning every little question that I had any doubt. And then there was a moment that I was like, hey man, I have nothing else to study, because I literally went through, I think you have one that was like 600 questions. I went through all 600 questions.
Right. Yes.
I did all those 600 questions, and they were there. There was a point when I didn't have anything else to study. Like, I know all this.
How much time do you think you were putting in a day?
Oof, man. There were days where I was sitting in front of my computer for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Like on Sundays, or Saturdays, I would sit there because it was a main thing for me. Like, it was main focus for me.
Yeah.
But like, if you do it for like maybe 2 hours, an hour a day, I mean, it will help a lot.
I see a common trend. With the determination, you knew you had to do everything in your power. And I recall, I'm like, how the hell is he running a business and studying this much? How?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, he got his business on autopilot. Like, bro,
Yeah.
I got to get this license, man.
Yeah,
I'm free.
Yeah.
That I think is something that's common too, that we see is, you'll put things in their place so you can get this done. So I go back and people think this is some type of sales tactic or what, but we only provide the platform. You guys put the work in. And I will say you put the work in. So thank you again. Thank you again on that one, bro. You put the work in. So we didn't get to that one part where you went and took the test after being in a program. What happened?
I didn't pass.
What was the score?
The first time I think I had two wrong. Was like 70. I got 70.
Yeah.
And it was 75.
Yeah.
No, I had like 71, 72 characters. But and the minimum. Yeah, and then I think it was one or two questions you told me that it's probably one or two questions that I got. But man, I walk in there like convinced that I'm gonna pass this thing. Like, I'm good. And it was so easy for me. It was like, this is, and I was so frustrated. I remember I told you, like, man, I can't believe I didn't pass.
Yeah.
They give you the paper like face down, and I was convinced, like, I pass. I just opened, like, flipped it and saw it and like failed. I'm like, it can't be. But I wasn't, I knew that I know what I had to do to pass it. It just was kind of weird. I'm like, maybe there was a couple questions, the math questions, or maybe it was that I remember I mentioned to you about the designs, like there were like
figures. Yeah.
The picture stuff, and then that's the thing. I focus on those things. So the next time I would pass it. And when I went to the last time, it was like so easy. I think I had like 45 minutes left in my days. It was so easy, and still to this day I don't know what was my score.
No, but doesn't matter, because I mean, you don't have to take another test, and you're a licensed general contractor. And I'm happy for that picture you sent, because you sent your certificate when you actually got the license all set up. I was like, that's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about. So now you passed the license, right? What was the next struggle for you when you like, oh shit, it's real. I got to go start my business.
Yes. It was getting the insurance, getting all the paperwork they need. I started had to get my, by my business set up, corporation and my bank account, like all that, just to, and then I haven't even started like getting clients. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which, yeah, but it takes some time and money to get everything set up.
Yeah.
So that's something you need to look forward to. Like, it's not going to be as really quick. It's going to take some time.
And so now you got everything set up.
Yeah.
What's next? What did you decide? What are you going to do?
Okay. What I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Man,
What you going to do?
start making money. Start doing this.
Well, everybody's saying they're going to start making money, but
Yeah.
what is it? I mean, I know we're working through another program now because, hey, that's just how we want to be there for the whole journey, right? So now, what is it do you think you need to learn in order to be successful at this?
Yeah, how to manage it and how to acquire clients. And I think that you have also a very good system to do that. And again, like I tell everyone that, like, I have talked to you ever since I started doing the testing and on all that until now that I am licensed, and you've been there all the way, and you shown me options and ways to be successful in every way, and I think it's gonna be like for years, like we're gonna.
And that's where I gotta say this in this video. That's where just being a part of this community, we want to give you every resource. That's it. Just give you the resources so you can win. Because the hardest part about starting a contracting business is the first few years, right? You can make money. You're going to make money. I don't believe in it takes years to be profitable. That's BS. You can be profitable the very first job, but it's consistency. It's, like I say, there's those 3 pillars to success in construction. And you got to have the marketing, you got to have the sales, and you got to have the project management. And you can be all those pieces, but there's cost to it, right? I think we were talking about insurance. Like, there's costs. Your insurance goes up if you sub out everything, right? And then, there's the risk of having employees. There's cost to having employees too. Yeah. Right. And I don't think anyone who wants to get their general contractor says, well, I want to get a general contractor and go physically do the work. That's not what a general contractor is. Even though I've done it, right? That's not what it is. You guys want to build a business that's going to work for you. So in that 7-day contractor program, that's what we want to do is equip you with the tools and the study and the practice and the coaching to get you in. So I appreciate you trusting us on that too. So now with you having a license, got the business up and running, what advice through this journey that you've been on now over this last 6 months, what advice do you got for someone that's, trying to, make the same decision as you? Because I know it's a lot of Hispanics, a lot of people of color, and really just anyone that's like, you know what, I got to go out there. What advice do you got for them?
Yeah, I think that is, consistency and find help. There are people that will help you. There are people that will guide you. There is somebody that will tell you like the one thing that you need, and that will change your mindset. That happened to me. I mean, with this community, which has been great. Not only Kevin, but everybody in the community. Have been like they're very helpful. You ask questions and people help you. And that's what I think it is. It's just consistency and find help, find someone to guide you through it.
I truly believe it's the hardest thing to do in anything twice. Mm-hmm. So, and I know there's a lot of programs out that's going to charge an arm and a leg. That's not where we're can't get rich off programs. I always tell you, if it was about money, I would not show up on camera, right? I'll just say, here's the price, come on, right? But this is bigger, and this is why. Seeing you right now in your office, we've been talking already, talking about, okay, I need to do this and do that. How are we going to do this? This is what it's about. This is what makes me get the goosebumps and the chills and keep going forward with these programs. So Is there any last words that you want to share, give, anything to the listeners today that joined this conversation?
Yeah, well, first, to you, Kevin, thank you for everything. I mean, it's been like it was amazing to find your content, your video, and it helped me, get to where I am right now. It's been amazing. And to everybody in the community, or like trying to, or that is planning to get their general contractor license, I mean, don't give up. It seemed to be difficult, but there are people out there that are going to help you, that can help you, and that their motivation is to help, not just to make money out of you. And I think in this community you will find that guidance and help. Yeah, and it's a great thing. It's very good to the good feeling of having accomplished something like this, general contractor license.
Okay. Once again, there's going to be big screams in the video when it actually comes out. Everybody going crazy. But for real, man, this has been an honor. And like I say, we're on to the next part. So the work doesn't stop. It only gets harder, right? We got to believe, we got to start. And you said, I need to make some money. I need to make some money. So to all the listeners out, you guys just tuned in to another episode of the NASCLA podcast, where we just met with Esteban. And I will say this, man, you guys, if you are not motivated by a story, you're really not trying to get your general contractor license. So stay tuned to the next interview we got coming out. I know it's going to be with Nina. Everybody's waiting on that one too. So again, like I tell everybody, do what you do best, hand down.
As you can see, ain't no stopping us. Best in the city, we can build a house. If you can dream it, we can help you out. Contractor in